Nicole, how do I trust again? Well, you start by stop blaming yourself for other people's actions. To use the example, if your partner, your ex, whoever cheated on you, don't blame yourself for that. Own your action in that, but don't blame yourself for that. That action ultimately was a reflection of them. You need to understand your worth as a human being, right? As a person, you need to believe in how valuable you are. Your presence is a gift to somebody else. Stop blaming yourself for what other people do. Hold yourself accountable to what you do. Own your part in what you have done impacts the situation. But ultimately, stop blaming yourself for other people's actions. Now, when I say own your part, I mean, people just don't go out and do things to lose the trust of others, right? That action is driven by some sort of feeling. But how do you overcome that, right? How do you overcome that feeling? Well, you overcome that feeling, one, by understanding what your fears are, what your triggers are, what your pain points are, and being vulnerable and open. Communicate those things with your partner or whoever it is that you want to trust. Be open, be honest. This is what I fear, or this action causes this pain. I have a history of triggers of X. Be honest with yourself. You need to reflect first and understand what your emotions are. What causes your fears? What causes you to mistrust? And then speak that. You can't expect people to be able to read your mind. You can't walk into a new relationship and just say, well, my ex cheated on me. That doesn't mean anything. What does that mean to you? Well, my ex cheated on me and it causes me to feel X, Y, and Z. I have a history of people cheating on me and it causes X, Y, and Z. But if you have a history of people cheating on you, what have you done in the relationship? Take your part. Own your part. Are you somebody who doesn't want to be intimate? Or are you somebody who just wants to have sex, to release? Do you not understand what intimacy is? Do you listen to your partner as much as you want your partner to listen to you? And that's the other side of this, is understand that your partner is human as well. So not only can you not hold them accountable for what's happened to you in the past, you can only hold them accountable to what's happened now, but only if you're willing to hold yourself accountable. And you have to trust that they're going to hold themselves accountable. You have to be willing to hear their fears. You have to be willing to understand their pain points, their triggers, their emotions. Because if you're not willing to understand theirs, then why the heck should they care about yours? You know what makes me not trust somebody? Not when somebody takes action against me, but when someone's not willing to hear me. If someone's not willing to listen to me, listen to my communication, listen to my fears, somebody's not willing to hear what I have to say, that's what breaks trust for me. Because then I automatically expect you to do something shady. If you're not even willing to hear me out, if you're only worried about you, then that's all you're worried about is you. You don't care about me. That's what makes me lose trust in someone. So how do you reclaim trust? How do you learn to trust again? One, you start trusting yourself. Two, you understand your value as a human being, and that if somebody else does something to lose your trust, that's a loss on them. Be willing to walk away. It's gonna hurt. You can't get rid of the pain. It's gonna hurt, but be above it. Be willing to walk away knowing that you dodged a bullet. Okay? Let's just keep it simple. Be willing to walk away knowing you dodged a bullet. And if you don't want to walk away, don't hold it over their head. If you don't want to walk away, if somebody cheats on you and you want to give them a second chance, do not ever bring it up again. Communicate through it, grow through it, and do not ever bring it up again. Don't use it to hold over somebody's head, because that's a reflection on you. Go into a relationship with the idea of growth, mental growth, and spiritual growth. Don't go into a relationship and say, oh, my ex cheated on me, so I think you're going to cheat on me too. I would kick you right out the door too. Don't go in with expectations. Work on you. Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself to an expectation. Hold yourself to a value. Know your worth. Know your value. That's how you learn to trust again. Be willing to listen to your partner. And for God's sake, stop giving up trust all at one time. Stop saying, oh my God, I think I love this person, and then give them all your trust. No. Trust takes baby steps. Trust in baby steps. Force someone to earn your trust. And know that somebody is going to force you to earn their trust. If you give me 100% of the pie on day one, but you trust that I'm going to save enough for you to eat, that's on you. Because I see it as you giving me a gift of the pie. But if you give me one piece and you eat one piece, all right, now we're eating together. And then if you communicate and say, I'm going to give you 2 pieces because I'm not ready to eat yet, but you can save one for me. Communication. Great. I'll probably save one for you. Be willing to communicate. Be vulnerable. Trust is vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable to trust. So if you're already going to be vulnerable to trust, why not communicate it? Communicate your vulnerabilities. Understand what your fears are. And let people know that. Tell them you want to know their vulnerabilities. Listen. Be willing to listen. It's not all about you. If you're trying to do It Takes Two to Tango, it's not all about you. There's 2 people here. So learn how to give. And stop giving trust all up at one time. That's how you learn how to trust again. Baby steps. Understanding your own pain. Taking accountability in your own action. Learning to communicate. Learning to listen. Communicate, listen, take things slow. That's how you learn to trust again.